Yeah, City might be putting themselves even further ahead if Harry Kane is to go there. And there's a lot of talk about this at the moment. There's a talk that Harry Kane is actually going to have to force a move if he's to end up at City. And apparently sources from within the England camp, Mark, say that he could be planning to not return to training. Could you see this happening from a player like Harry Kane?
I really can't. I mean, obviously, it's been the chat of the England squad and talk of the players, and it's come out of the squad post tournament that Harry Kane might not turn up at training. But I just don't see. I think of all the players that would push for a move and do that, I don't see Harry Kane doing it. He's the England captain. He does things properly. He does things without any controversy. Harry Kane, and I think he's got a real attachment to Tottenham. He's made it clear that he wants to leave in his own way, but I don't think he wants to go upsetting the club. And I just really don't see Harry Kane pretty much going on strike, by not turning up for training. It's just not his way. Now, obviously, Nuno, the new coach, has said on Friday that he thinks he'll stay. I don't think it's anything to do with Nuno. I think Nuno's probably the last person that'll know. I think it'll be Harry Kane and the owner and Daniel Levy, the chairman. And I don't think Harry Kane would be massively impressed that they've appointed Nuno as coach, to succeed Mourinho. I think he was probably hoping for a bigger name. I think if he was going to be persuaded to stay at Tottenham, he wanted the club to show a bigger ambition with a bigger name coach, a guy with a winning pedigree, and that hasn't happened. So, but I do think that when he comes back of his holiday after the Euros, I think Harry will report back. He's a consummate professional. I don't see him upsetting things at Tottenham to the extent where he would, not turn up, because that makes him the bad guy. That makes him the villain, and I don't think he wants to be that. And I don't think it's in his character to be that either.
What does he change if he comes into City, Nedum? What does he change for the club there?
I think the stuff that we've seen over the last year or so in terms of them playing with a false nine, for as progressive as it was, and the fact that he did score some goals with it, it's still always nice to have somebody who's a proven goal scorer, because I think up until this year, you looked at someone like Sergio Aguero, who scored over I think it was 260 goals for the club. Every single one of those goals mattered, and him being in that team mattered. And I think Harry Kane is an example of somebody who has been proven to be able to score goals in the Premier League and in Europe and in all the club competitions as well. So to have somebody like that who can give you something that's just a bit different in terms of what they've just done in that last year, I think it's fantastic. He's in my opinion one of the best strikers in the world. So if you can bring somebody like that into an incredibly talented, into a camp that's already very talented, then surely you'd like to fancy your chances, because you don't always have to score the same goal. Now you've got somebody who can be, say, winning headers, somebody who can be posting up, can be playing balls underneath and stuff like that. And it's exciting. Like, to see Sergio Aguero leave the building was, it's heartbreaking because of the goals that he scored. But if somebody like Harry Kane can come in, you almost have a feel that he's capable of doing similar things. And obviously he's not got the same history as Aguero, because he came in before the club had won anything. But he's somebody, Harry Kane, who you can believe will help City potentially get to that next level.
Mark, Nedum just mentioned there a proven goal scorer, and there are other reports to say that if they can't get their hands on Kane, then even Robert Lewandowski could be in the picture for them, at least on their wish list. Who are the alternatives that are being talked about?
Well, I mean, there aren't many alternatives. That's the thing, isn't it? If you're looking to replace Sergio Aguero, you're looking to replace a guy that's given absolutely amazing service to City for 10 years, and his record is there to stand for itself. He's the club's record goal scorer, so I think it'll take some beating to replace Aguero. But you have to shop at that grade A market, don't you? And that the grade A strikers are Harry Kane, Robert Lewandowski, and Erling Haaland. Now, I think Lewandowski's, is he 33, 34, and I'm not quite sure he's the long-term solution for Man City. They might look at him as the short-term option that could maybe win in the Champions League, but I think they're going to have a challenge on the hands getting Bayern Munich to let Robert Lewandowski go. So you're looking at Haaland again. Doesn't sound like he's on his way this summer either. I think he's quite happy to stay at Borussia Dortmund. So then you're looking at Kylian Mbappe. I mean, Mbappe's got 1 year left in his contract at Paris Saint-Germain. I'm told that City have always wanted Mbappe. They could wait a year, get him on a free transfer at the end of next season. But with PSG desperate to keep Mbappe, if they begin to think that he's not going to sign a new contract next year, what do? The PSG say, right, we're going to keep you, let you run your contract down and leave for nothing? Or do they think, let's try and cash in now? And if that's the case, and I don't think it is, but if that is the case, then Man City will be front of the queue for Kylian Mbappe.
Do you really think so, Mark, given that Kylian Mbappe has always said that he wants to go to Real Madrid? Spanish papers are reporting this all the time. Yes, it may have to take another year. Do you really think that he would choose City over Real Madrid?
I don't know if he's going to have a choice. Have Real Madrid got the money? I think, the one thing about Real Madrid is that they always seem to find the money, but right now they need to rebuild that squad, and they've got a lot of aging players. They've got people going back there like Gareth Bale, who's on a huge contract, isn't going to play very often. He's not going to get any resale value. So Real's issue right now is finding a way to rebalance their books. They've got Eden Hazard, who's cost them an awful lot of money, doesn't do a lot of things. And I'm sure if you ask Kylian Mbappe, he would want to go to Real Madrid. I think you're right. He's expressed that his desire is to play in Spain, but his big thing now is to play in a league that is maybe more competitive than Ligue 1. He wants to win Ballon d'Ors. He wants to win Champions Leagues. If he goes to Man City, he plays with Pep Guardiola. City have always had this thing about Mbappe, certainly in the Pep Guardiola era, that Mbappe for them is the perfect forward. He can play out wide, he can play through the middle. And for me, he's actually more of a Man City player than any of the players we've spoken about, than Kane, than Lewandowski, than Erling Haaland. But he's at PSG, and PSG aren't the sort of club that's going to sell their players easily, especially to a club like Man City, for all the reasons we can talk about in terms of on the pitch, off the pitch, challenging for Champions Leagues. But you talk about a player that Pep Guardiola would love at Man City, it's Kylian Mbappe.